Good morning. Good morning and hello. It is 8:10 in the morning. I am here. I'm doing it. I'm kicking ass and taking initials. Listen, today I'm talking about hell in a handbasket. Hell in a handbasket. You know how when shit goes crazy? You know how when shit goes so crazy, it's like everything in your life is just insane and you don't know what to do, and it's so overwhelming that at one point or another you go, and you just can't take it anymore and you freak out for a second. I want to talk about the moment leading and the moment of and or after these types of moments today. Hell in a handbasket. So, if you think about it, right, the moment is happening because of how the brain works. And do I have see, I was not prepared today. Oh, maybe I was kind of prepared. Haha, Sharpie. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to talk about the brain. Alright, so the brain, on some level, I'm teaching some hypnosis today and how your brain works. It's going to be fun. Alright, so let's pretend that this is your brain, okay? Alright, and then like at the bottom of your brain, when you're first born, you have these little like dots, and we're going to pretend this is like a fishbowl, okay? It's like a little fishbowl, okay? Alright, and in that little fishbowl, at the beginning of your life, you have, well, I'm going to try and write this backwards to get this right for you. You have your flight or fight response. Does that work? Look, see? Flight or fight. Haha, look at that. Okay? And you get that from the age of like 0 to about 3 years old. I think I did that right as well. 0 to 3 years old. Oh, I did that backwards. Anyways, the point is, oh, hold on. Oh my God, love that just popped up on my feed, live no less. That just makes me smile. Oh, thank you, Pamela. And hi, Paul. My fishbowl is full of fish. All right. I'm serious though. This is some real stuff. All right, so watch. So like you get this is a flight or fight response. Okay. Now you get your flight or fight response 0 to 3 years old, and you're born with two fears. Okay. And that's the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises, and that's all because you don't want to die. And those are happen because if loud noises or you fall, then you could hurt yourself, and so you go and you start crying like a little baby, because that's why people, when they hear babies scream, they go and chill. What the fuck is wrong with the baby? And they go, and then he's gonna fall. Oh, we catch him, and then he doesn't fall. So, anyways, let's get back into this thing. So then, from that point, you have these little like things, like they're like, you know. It's like little leaves, and the leaves create oxygen. Okay, these are called knowns. These are your knowns. I don't know if I'm going to be able to write knowns backwards. Knowns. Does that say knowns? Sort of, kind of says nouns. Anyways, so your knowns are either positive or negative. Okay, and that means. So a negative known is something that you don't know, and a positive known is something that you do know. So for instance, if you're a little kid and you touch a hot plate for the first time, Sam Rivas, I would love to connect with you today. Call me as soon as I'm done with this little thing that I do in the morning, and we can totally connect. All right, so you come check out the VR at the mall. You have to check this out. It's ridiculous. Okay, anyways, let me get back to the story. All right, so if you watch the knowns. Are what come to you around the ages of, say, about 4 to about 8 years old, okay? So those come around the ages of 4 to 8 years old, 4 to 8. And so then what you get after that, these knowns, you have this little tiny kind of viscous layer at the top, right? And that's called the critical factor. That comes in around the age of 10 to about 13 years old. So if you've ever seen like the people who are like actors, who are like young kids who are like super amazing, like they look like adults and they act like adults, that's because their critical factor was made very young, and they've already kind of fomented their ideas and thoughts about life altogether. Okay, so this is the critical factor. Now I'm going to kind of explain how these moments of when shit hit the fan, or when you're when everything's gone to hell in a handbasket, as I mentioned, or I called this thing today. So the reason that happens is because your brain, this is your brain, and it has little message units, right? Like little water droplets that fall in. Little water droplets that fall in. Now your brain works like this, okay? So if you were to go up to like a toilet, I know it's kind of a weird thing to say, but if you go up to a toilet with a bucket, right, and you throw the bucket of water into a toilet, it will actually flush itself. And your brain works the exact same way, right? So when you're overwhelmed with a ton of information coming in, it's like the water droplets. And each one of those, good morning, Michelle, good morning. Look, I said it right this time. All right, so listen. So when too much information starts to come in, when you're bothered with things that are happening at work, when you're overstressed with things that are happening in your relationship, when you're whatever's happening in your life, and that starts to come in, it becomes so overwhelming that your brain literally flushes itself. And that's the moment when you say, I can't take it anymore, it's too much, I just want to get out of here. Whatever that thing is, that feeling, that emotion of the drop, the I can't take it anymore, that's the moment when you flushed. So how do you control these outside forms so that you don't flush? I mean, although, by the way, you're supposed to flush. It's natural. It's a good thing to flush. It's a good thing to take a break. It's a good thing to walk away sometimes. So, and I keep repeating that. Like I repeated that yesterday. That was kind of yesterday's thing. Sometimes you just have to walk away. Sometimes you just have to let go for a moment and let it be. And so, and come back to the situation when it's at a lower grade, when it's a lower energy level. So, back to the mind, right? So, the way that and this is a daily thing, by the way. This happens every single day. This is how your brain kind of takes in the info. And the way that it works on some level, where the critical factor works, is like, if I say to you, don't think of a pink elephant, the first thing you do is, boom, you think of a pink elephant, right? So your critical factor, if I say to you, the sky is purple, oh my God, the sky is purple right now, then you'll say to yourself, no, it's not. You say that immediately. And the reason for that is the critical factor. Your knowns are there. They know that it's not purple. And no matter how many times I say it's purple, you'll know that it's not purple. Maybe at the right time of day or something, like sunset. Oh, look, the sky's purple. And it is for like 2 seconds because of the way that but that's not the point. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking on a regular daily basis. We know that you get what I'm saying. Okay, good. At least I hope you do. Okay, anyways. So the point is that the overwhelming thing happens, and then when it becomes too much, you flush. I think that's why I do this thing that I do, which is where I go and then I stop and I pull it back for a second, because I guess what I'm trying to do is I'm giving you all the information and then letting it kind of filter in, and then coming back with more information and then letting it filter in. And I guess that's just how my brain works. So back to the overwhelming moment. So when this overwhelming moment happens, we're pretty much aware of this moment happening. And it's really up to us to actually create the dynamic within ourselves to stop that moment. So that can, and I the other day, for instance, I actually became very aware of a moment that was happening. Good morning, Megan. Thank you for watching, by the way. And I even tried to change my dynamic in the way that I would approach the thing, but what I was doing was I was changing the approach during a heightened, tense moment. And so no matter what I said or did, it wouldn't matter, and it just created a fight and an argument. So that wasn't the right time. is what I'm trying to say. So all I had to do at that point, the only thing that I could do was just leave, to just walk away from the moment, and then that moment just kind of dissipates and goes away, and then it's up to me at that point if I want to then try and fix that, is to go up to the person when there's no heightened tensed moment, and when there's no you have to remember the cues and times of when those heightened moments happen. For instance, if you know that you always get into an argument at a certain hour or time, then don't bring up that thing at that moment in time. Do it at some other moment in time that seems completely random. And when you do it, just say, I would like to speak to you about something that's making me feel emotionally kept, or I don't know, whatever words you want to use that make you express a moment of pressure, because that's what it is. It's a moment of pressure, and these moment of pressures are these little droplets, right? And some can be like full-on faucets, where it's like pressure. It feels like it's weighing on me, right? So just imagine, if you will, like cups of water that are just on your shoulder at all times, right? And then those cups of water, those worries are what are holding you down. And so that's what's going to keep that those worries. Those are the message units that are going into the thing, your brain. Remember we were talking about the message units? So the message units, those are the worries. Sometimes you turn on faucets, sometimes you turn on waterfalls, and then you become so inundated in that world that you make it your world. I hope that made sense. So you can I like to say this, okay? Like, this is the way I like to look at the whole thing. Give me a second. So the way that I look at it is like this. I believe that we are light, okay? We are condensed light. And that we have a light source, we all do, right? Each one of us has a light source that kind of comes into the top of the brain, right? Going with chakra kind of conceptual idea here. And that light comes in, and then you are a certain type of person to the world. Now, the thing that's cool is that we have the pineal gland, which is the exact center of the brain. Cut this in half, cut this in half, and right in the center of that, at the X, Y, and Z point, there's the thing called the pineal gland, which some say, and most have agreed now, scientifically at least, that's like your crystal, if you will, like a quartz crystal, like on a radio. And so I've been saying this for years. You have a black box. Like, this black box has these sensor units that create information. Like, this does the light, and this does the vibration of the sounds, and this makes its own vibrations of sounds. This breathes. It's good for breathing. So the point is that it's a black box that has sensor units that go to it, and then it learns from all these different things that are going on. Good morning, John Harris. How you doing today? So basically, these message units come in, right? And then we, over time, through different things, nature and nurture, we create an idea of what those things mean to us. On a Nietzsche level, he says that we attach words emotionally on some level, right? So my word means something to me more than it means something to you, and it means something different, all differently, because we attach emotions to those words, and so therefore it becomes different. So back to what I was getting at. See, I lost my train of thought off that. Because I was trying to give all this information. It's so intense. Okay, hold on. Back to the message units, right? So, the lighting. It's always the lighting. Have you noticed I have to always move every morning? You know when I'm getting closer and closer to the end, because that little flower starts to appear. All right. So, when you have all these message units coming in, you get overwhelmed. So how do we control the message units is the question that you really need to think about. And that comes down to, this is what I guess I was getting at when I was talking over the last couple weeks in the mornings, is what I was talking about, mental push-ups. These are the push-ups. This is where this comes into play. You start using these affirmations. You start using all these different sayings, like the ones that I use: thoughts, feelings, moods, actions, the 4 agreements, which are use the word in truth, always have courage, and never make assumptions. I'll answer that in a second, Aaron. Never make assumptions. The next one is oh, good God, I forgot the 4 agreements. So always use the word in the direction of truth and light. Never speak badly about yourself or others. The second is always have courage to ask for what you really want. Never make assumptions. Number three, don't take anything personally. Anything anybody else says or does is part of their own reality. It's their own dream. That has nothing to do with you. And number 4, always do your best. No matter what you say or do the best you can in every day, no matter whether you're sick or whether you're healthy. If you just give your best, you'll push away self-regret, self-abuse, and self-denial, and all these other crazy things that make you feel bad about yourself. So the point is that you use all of these like things, these affirmations that tell you that you're doing a good job. And you are doing a good job because you're giving your best to each moment. So that right there helps push away all of these other thoughts of worry and pain. Now, how do you deal with grief? How do you deal with sorrow, or how do you deal with depression? Okay, so these are all brought on once again by not having some intellectual and emotional understanding about the past, is what I believe. Okay, so I believe that the reason that you're upset about the past or something that happened to you is because on some level you haven't taken the time to actually give compassion and a little bit of sadness to the person who did whatever they did to you. And that person, in essence, is a shoulder holding person. So, because even though they're not around anymore, even though you have a new life, and even though you're doing your whole new thing, that person's still sitting there going, meh. And that's what I talk about when I say don't drink other people's Kool-Aid. Don't let this person on your shoulder be the person who puts you down. Don't let that person be the one who tells you you're not good enough or whatever, and that you heard it, and then not only did you hear it, but you repeated it to yourself. And that's the thing that's going to kill you. So that's okay. So let's try and tie this all together really quick, okay? So the whole idea of today was, what do you do when the shit hits the fan, when things become hell in a handbasket, when you just can't take it anymore? And if you haven't learned any of the skill sets and you're already at hell in a handbasket and have already given up, and you're at now the next part of hell in a handbasket, which is you've basically thrown the basket in the fucking air and you've said fuck you to the world, okay? My answer is this: slowly go back over to the basket and slowly pick up the things that remain. Put those things back into the basket slowly. Don't be upset and start over. It's that easy. Either that or go and create a whole new fucking basket and go find a whole new existence and a whole new life, which you could do, which you could totally fucking do, by the way. It's not impossible, but it's going to be much harder than picking up the basket that you already have. So if that's the case, okay, that's the case, right? You're already at hell in a handbasket. You've already thrown all your shit away. The best answer I have for you is just pick up the basket that you like, that you've already done for years, that you know is going to make you some kind of money, that you're going to be able to survive on, and just do that. And if you don't want to do that, and like I said, if you don't want to do that, then go do something else. Find something, I don't know, go pick up trash, or go do some menial task that takes no schooling whatsoever. Excuse me. And do that. And then find a way to survive doing that. I don't know what to tell you. Otherwise, go back, pick up the basket, pick up the remaining pieces of things, find the things that are broken that you can actually fix, find the things that are broken that you can't fix, and just let them go. Let them go. And that's it. And then start rebuilding and learning the craft that you want to know about. Start watching the videos that you want to know about. YouTube is a source, a plethora of information for you to go and learn whatever you want to learn. Literally whatever you want to learn. You don't have to pay anybody. You don't have to pay some marketing thing. And you just got to go and learn it. And you got to find the key words of things that they're saying and then search those tag keywords and just fall into the rabbit hole of whatever